Hey everyone, what's up? Jordan Norell here, making my daily video about circumcision. This is actually the second one because I made a short one based on just a fun little idea I had. So today I want to do a second Kylego because it was super fun the first time. Not many people watched it because I don't think they recognized the word and they're just like, what's that? And didn't really want to watch it. Also, it didn't have circumcision in the title, so maybe that also makes it less eye-catching. But anyways, I think this is great, especially for people interested in activism and in changing things, because it's a really powerful tool, and also it's really fun for me just to like say all my ideas and what I'm excited about and what I believe in. So here goes again. All right. So I remember the past 2 years, and I don't even know what happened, but it was the best 2 fucking years of my life. And I got so much shit done. It was just a blast. Like, I had so much fun. I remembered really going really deeply into my pain around circumcision, way deeper than I ever had before, and feeling a little bit depressed at first because I was, just realizing how much healing I still had to do. But then I got really excited because I realized that with all the healing I have left to do, I can actually also become that much better of a person, that much stronger, that much more empathic, that much more energized. Because all of that shit that I had trapped in me still, when I transformed it and when I went into it fully, it became just free energy, free ability to, use that life force in whatever way I want to, which happened to be to solve this issue. So I read so many books. About activism and social entrepreneurship. Continued nourishing myself with books about spirituality, which I love, and psychology. Read all the books out there that are about circumcision. There aren't a lot, so read all of them. Continued to study other top activists in the field and contact them, make podcasts with them. I've made podcasts with virtually everyone who is an expert on this issue. Again, there just aren't that many people, so I have over 100 podcast episodes now. I make 1 to 2 a week, and it's so much fun. It's gotten so easy. I just get in the flow with it, and the more I do it, the easier it gets. And I had no idea what I was doing with any of this stuff when I started, but now it's just integral to who I am. It's become so natural. It's become actually hard to push myself because it's become so easy to just utilize these ideas, network with different people, coordinate, and really get into my own creativity and my own inspiration, figure out good ideas, good strategy, and see the whole sort of development of this movement and how I can best leverage my power, my resources to make things happen. I started collecting money from different crowdfunding stuff so that I could fund this more or spend more time on this cause and really pretty much spend 24/7 applying myself to this issue. And since then I also created a trauma healing program for men and was able to have successful healing of many, many men who have PTSD around this issue, who have severe circumcision grief, and who were unable to live their lives. And I really helped so many of them. I first created a website. Well, first I developed the stuff through my YouTube videos, then I created a website with the help of some other activists, and then finally was able to invest in an app that's now pretty easy to just go on your phone, click in. It's like the Headspace app. You just go through day by day, and it can totally heal you from circumcision trauma. And not only that, but transform that pain and that suffering into power, into life energy, back into being able to be an activist if that's what you want, or just be an effective person in your life, have good relationships, and be even happier than you were before you experienced this trauma. And so I'm so happy that I created that, and that I was able to, bring in different people, work with a bunch of different psychologists, all the people who know about this issue, just contact them, collect all of their ideas, put it all together. I've researched so much psychology and just read so many books. It was like the deeper into it I got, the more fun it was, and it just, not that there weren't ever hard days. Like I said, there was a lot of pain that I experienced around it, but I just kept that mindset that I knew as long as I keep on those days that I just feel like shit, if I just let myself feel that shit fully and don't run away from it, it always contributed to my growth and always made me stronger as a person. And I'm so happy that I experienced all of the difficulty I did, that I experienced all the challenges I did, that we had people resisting this movement and trying to throw up obstacles against it, because the more things that they threw in my way, the more I had to grow, the more I had to learn and study and research and bring people together and have conversations that really change things. Over the past 2 years, I've talked with so many different people, people who, a lot of people who agree with me, who are other activists, who are other supporters, and people who love my work, and who really, I've learned so much from them and being able to offer them a lot of help and encouragement as well. But I've also talked with a lot of people who just don't agree at all and don't get it, and who actually come sometimes from a very aggressive place, or a very hurt place, or a very defensive place. And I've learned so much about how to transform people's positions, how to get people to see that we have the same values deep inside. We want to live in a good world. We want to live in a world where love is, and truth are what's most important. And we need to work together to make that happen, and we need to listen to each other. And taking these mindsets and understanding that everybody has that common humanity deep in their core, and seeing that in people has allowed me to change some of the people's minds on this, or at least get them to see our point of view a little bit more, when so many people would have thought that was impossible and would have just gone out all out aggressive and trying to attack, and then had those people attacking back, and just this war going back and forth. Instead, I used this Aikido type approach of really taking that energy in and saying, okay, I can see that you believe what you're doing is right. I know that these people have good intentions, and so do I, and let's focus on that, and let's focus on the fact that we're both human beings. We're both trying to live on a planet peacefully in a way that everybody's happy, and let's listen to each other. I did a lot of listening, even more than talking. I learned how to persuade and talk, and collaborate, and get people to see that I'm always coming from love. And even if I can't get everybody on my side, I can at least get people to see that I'm not the bad guy here. But also, what I did a lot was just listen, just was a space for all this other shit to just come up, and just allow that to be there for a second, and really stop, take a step back, and think like, okay, how can I deal with this more intelligently? How can we be critical and really careful about our approach, so that we don't alienate anybody, and so that we find a way to a solution together. And it's not always possible. I mean, sometimes there has been people who just really um, aren't willing to listen, and so I'm not totally inflexible about the approach. I'm open to so many different approaches, and I've been open to so many different ways of thinking, and building these groups, finding all the activists that are really forward thinking on this cause, and getting them to work together, getting them to listen to each other, getting them to have meetings regularly and coordinate efforts so that all of our forces are going in a concerted direction towards a clear goal. And through doing that, we've achieved not only huge awareness around this issue. Pretty much everybody in the United States now knows why we disagree with circumcision, understand the position that the foreskin has functions, that it has a lot of nerve endings, a lot of fine touch nerve endings that are extremely pleasurable. They understand the human rights aspect of it. They understand that it's psychologically damaging. Everybody pretty much in America knows all of these things because of our efforts, our social media efforts, our ways of publicizing this and getting people to talk about it. All of our strategies have congealed into a final result of people really just getting it. And not everybody agrees with it, but everybody knows about it. And that's really exciting, because that was my main goal with this. And now circumcision is being challenged in the law quite promisingly. And also because so many people are aware of this, and so many, especially young men, virtually all men under the age of 25 are of the opinion that they wish they had their whole penises if they don't. And so there's huge funding for foreskin regeneration through Foragen, as well as other people who are trying to compete as well. The Foragen already has patents, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for other people, but everybody is clear that if we can regenerate this body part, and we are working towards that very promisingly also now, that's going to mean so much for all of these men who see themselves as victims of male genital mutilation. That's pretty fucking serious. A lot of these men are starting to develop PTSD and other trauma symptoms, and I'm doing everything I can to help them. But we really need a physical solution. We just really need this regenerative procedure. And so it's really exciting to see that. That's also part of the marketing efforts and the PR and just the strategy in general, saying look at all these men who want this back, and presenting it as, if you could have it back, would you want it back? And doing that has really opened a lot of guys' minds up to wait a minute, maybe I don't have to be defensive about this after all. Maybe I don't have to be so scared that it might be harmful, because maybe actually I can get it back. And so that's also really helped the cause too. Just seeing how many men are really invested in getting their foreskins back. So that's all been really awesome for me. Just the relationships I've formed over the past 2 years, and the self-development of my own journey, of my own capacities, and my own personal life as well. It's just really, honestly, this has been most of the focus of my life, but it's, having that purpose, having that concertedness, doing all this healing work has made everything in my life better as well. And so I am really happy that, I'll never really truly be happy that my genitals were mutilated, perhaps at least until I get it back 100%. But nonetheless, I am really happy that I am able to grow from this to turn this negative into a immense positive. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to serve as a model for that for all of the men who are harmed by this, and to show that as a culture we may have had this really, really horrible thing that we've experienced and been through together, but that can actually make us stronger, that can make us better. We can heal from that, and we can move on, and we can be an example for the rest of the world, as the U.S. often has been. You know, our culture is pretty famous, and in this case it's really lucky that this issue is transforming, because that's going to make it possible for the rest of the world to see it happening here, and maybe make it possible there as well. So that's what's going to happen in the next 2 years, guys. Thank you for watching today, and yeah, let's work together. Let's do everything we can to make this happen. I'm so happy to have you guys as my teammates, and love you guys. Let me know what you think. Talk to you again tomorrow.